Welcome to all of you out there, astrology friends. This is the new moon in Virgo. This is the video all about the new moon in Virgo. In general, what does it mean? It's happening around at about the 2nd and the 3rd of September of 2024. And we're going to have a look at the interpretation of it. And then for each and every single sign of the 12 signs, we're going to have a look at where is this happening, this new moon. So around this time of the year, we always have the new moon in Virgo, and this is going to be at 11 degrees of Virgo, so a bit in the midst of the sign of Virgo. And every time we have a new moon in Virgo, it's always around this time of the year. It's like a preparation for, you could say, a new start, because it's the new moon. And in Virgo, it's the best time for cleaning up, doing all these little things. The devil is in the detail, doing things of service, doing a cleanup of your closets and doing some reorganization in those closets, doing things of service for other people in a practical way, doing your administration, for instance, making it more efficient. Those things that when we focus, these seem to be little things, but these little things go a long way, because when we do that, it makes our life so much easier. When you are, for instance, a student and you take that time in the morning just to make your breakfast, it can change your start. It's a very Virgo kind of way. It's like taking care of yourself in this way of health and in this way of a good routine. And then you're going to benefit from that the whole day. So Virgo is all about routines. It's about health, and it's about work as well. Virgo, they are known as very hardworking, good work ethics. Of course, you might say, I'm a Virgo, I don't like to work. I mean, in general. So with this new moon, we have a bit of a reset, you could say. We have a bit of a reset in a certain particular area of our life where we have Virgo in our chart, where we can do this anew, where we can do this fresh. And although it might sound a little bit boring, and it might sound like, do we really have to do this? You will benefit from it if you put your focus on it and your energy to it. Again, when you are like having a really tough job with a lot on your mind with that job, and you have a closet with your clothes, and because it's so well organized, you kind of don't lose any time, because there are my pants, I'm going to exaggerate now a little bit, there are my shirts, they are all ordered by color, for instance, and, you pick it out very quickly and off you go. Instead of when everything is mixed, can you imagine how you are not only losing time, but also getting annoyed because you can't find your favorite pants. You have to, do a lot of handlings, or a lot of actions, you could say, before you can find it. So that is this Virgo energy. So take your time in that area of your life to work like a true Virgo, which is an eye for the detail, analytical. Make an Excel sheet, or make just a piece of paper and write down a to-do list and what you want to do to improve your life in that area. It can be your 10th house, which is work, but it can also be, for instance, your 3rd house. Excuse me, the way that you think, the way that you focus, how you focus on things. And so this is a huge opportunity for us, so that when in September, a lot of things here in Belgium, of course, in the Northern Hemisphere, they all start anew, like school starts, and, it's the harvest time, you could say, and then everything starts again. And it's that typical thing, You know, when the school starts anew, you see all the shops with stationery and all of that. You know, it's a typical Virgo thing, you know, ruled by Mercury, which is the mind, which is communication, which is writing, which is, you know, putting everything out on paper. And that's the energy that we are in this new moon. So now what is happening with other stuff, right? So its ruler, as I said, is Mercury, and Mercury will around the 2nd and the 3rd of September already be direct, which is a good thing. Remember, we had Mercury, well, as I'm recording this, it's still going on the retrograde up until like the 29th of August. Then it stops, so to speak, and then it goes direct again. And it's during this new moon, Mercury, its ruler, the ruler of the new moon, is going to go direct, so that's a good thing. But it's again in 23 degrees of Leo, which is again for the 3rd time approaching the square to Uranus. So it's going to be the last time that we're going to have Mercury in a square to Uranus. So whilst we're having this new moon and this new developments of, you can, of course, this is energy, you don't have to work with it, you can just let it pass. But when you're working with it, there is at the same time this energy of the mind that is going to get some information, epiphanies, understandings, that is associated with breakthroughs, Mercury square Uranus, that is associated with freeing yourself up. So this Mercury is in just a sign before Virgo, which is Leo, and we're going to have a look at that as well, where this is and where you're going to have those epiphanies, because a couple of days after this new moon, we're going to have this Mercury square Uranus again. You know, it's around the 6th, 7th, 8th of September. So, and it's the last time. Then we're going to fully see something and understand something, although it might be a little bit of a shock and unexpected news. So that's the first thing, you know, it's a kind of a time where we are in, where there are possibilities of liberation because of information that is coming to us or that we share with others, depending on your chart. And then, of course, this Mercury is going towards Regulus, the fixed star, at 29 degrees of Leo, which means ambitious. So we want to achieve something, for sure. And all of this, the second thing that is very, very important is that this new moon is opposed by Saturn. Now, I know that a lot of people don't like Saturn, and but planets are neutral. It's how we deal with it. You know, Saturn can sometimes in a chart, even in an opposition. So when you have the Sun opposite Saturn, a transit, or Saturn opposing the moon in a transit, it all depends on what you've done before that transit and also how you handle it. So let me explain. Yes, we're going to have this new moon, so this new beginning, this planting of a new seed, we're going to do things differently, or we have that opportunity, but it opposes Saturn. What does it mean? It means that in an opposition is always other people. So it means that Saturn, if you want to use it in the best way, it's about doing things by the book. It's about maturity. It's about be mature and act mature. It's about taking responsibility. And it's about doing things in a proper way, slowly but surely. Slowly but surely. No shortcuts. No, I'm going to do it like this, and so on. So Saturn has to do with maturity. And of course, some people already have a strong Saturn in their chart and will love this energy. Other people don't. Even if they're, of course, when you're younger, you don't like the Saturnian energy because you didn't have in your life so many Saturn transits yet. The more Saturn transits you're having, the more you're understanding that there's something like responsibility, maturity, and so on. But even when you're 60 and you're having, let's say, a lot of moon Uranus or the sun Uranus in your chart, you're not really going to love those rules that Saturn will apply if you want to achieve something. So you can fight against this energy, which I don't recommend, or you can follow it. So let's say you've got this in your chart when in the, let's say, in the ninth house, that you're having this new moon in the ninth house, which means higher studies. So a lot of people, a lot of students are going to have this energy, and a lot of people who have this new moon in the ninth house are going to feel that. So let's say you're a student. This is the example that I'm giving for everyone. You're having that new moon in the ninth house around September time. So that means an ending and a new beginning. So you can be a student who just did in August or the end of August some re-exams, right? You did the exams twice now for a second chance. And now this new moon in the ninth house is showing you the result because it's an ending and a new beginning. It opposes Saturn. It doesn't mean to say, oh, it opposes Saturn. Oh, I'm not going to get it. I'm not going to go through those exams. No. It will show you reality. That's Saturn. So if before you didn't do anything, you went out until 2 o'clock in the morning and have some fun, and then, study 2 hours a day, Saturn will show you the results, and it's probably not going to be a lot. Now, when you have done, on the contrary, a lot of work, a lot of taking responsibility, waking up early, doing your routines well, working hard, study up until the end of the evening, and then go to bed early. And, all these chuck, Saturnal, how it's supposed to be, and by the rules, and taking responsibility for your own life and all that good stuff. Guess what's going to happen? Even when this new moon opposes Saturn, you're going to have a splendid result. And that opposition shows the tension, and that it was hard, and that it wasn't an easy path, right? So it's an ending of that Saturnal period, new moon, an ending. So that's how so watch out those, you have to really watch out when you're doing astrology on your own and you're not good at enough at astrology, right? And I'm not saying this to order a reading with me. Of course you can, if you really want to know, order, book a reading. The links are below to go to my website. So you can always order a reading, of course, if you want to have a little bit more in-depth and serious, having me a look at your chart. And so do that if you want to. But the thing is that this Saturnal energy all depends on how you're dealing with it. If you're respecting Saturn, it's going to reward you. So this is a new moon in Virgo. That is tricky, yes, because it's only tricky when you haven't done anything in a particular area of your life that was mature. That was maturity. And then it's going to show you reality. Let's say you're having this in your 7th house of relationships. And it's showing up, it's not working. And it's not going to go forward. But that is, of course, it takes two to tango, right? So it's really a reality check. Saturn transits, and especially with this new moon, it's a reality check. So you're going to see where it goes. And with this reality check, there is a liberation of the mind as well, because we're having this Mercury square Uranus, the ruler of this new moon. So it's a very important time in the beginning. And they say every beginning is important if you start something new. So make sure you've got that Saturnal mindset, that new beginning, like, yes, I'm going to study and learn a new language, for instance, but I'm going to study Saturnal, which means every single day, half an hour, or maybe 15 minutes. I'm going to do it consistently. That's Saturn. That Saturn is like the teacher, you could say, yeah, but it's also the mature planet that makes us mature, that makes us responsible. Anyway, let's have a look now very quickly at the 12 signs. Where is this new beginning happening, and where is the ruler? So for Aries, this new beginning is happening in your 6th house. So this is the house of the Virgo, you could say. And this is this new moon is in Virgo, right? And it's actually all about your work, your route. If you say, I'm not working, it's about your routines, your health. So for you, there's a new beginning possible here to improve your health and to improve your work in a way that is more efficient for you, as I explained in the beginning. It opposes Saturn in the 12th, so it's about structuring your patterns, your unconscious patterns for sure. Now, this Mercury in Leo is in your 5th house. So this was also about how you deal with your hobbies, how you deal with your pleasure, how you deal with enjoying life, how you deal with children, and squaring up to the 2nd house of values, money. So this new beginning for you, if you've been working hard for making your life more efficient, and you're going to see the results of this, maybe a new job or maybe a new routine. Very good indeed. Taurus, this is a fellow earth sign. So this new moon is very, very positive for you, especially if you've got planets around 11 degrees of Taurus. You're going to feel this very strongly. It's in your 5th house, this new moon. So a new beginning when it comes to how you enjoy yourself, how you do maybe a new hobby. And opposing Saturn means that you might have less time for the 11th house because that's where Saturn is. You might have less time for friends because you're doing all these hobbies, or maybe one hobby that you really, really want to explore. Or the 5th house is also your projects. Let's say you want to start your own business, or you want to start a side business or something aside, but that is related to your creativity. And that demands more of your practical energy. And that means Saturn in the 11th, less energy for friends, less energy for also different kind of goals and whatnot. So it's about focusing for you. Actually, it's a very spontaneous house, the 5th house. It's love as well. It could be love that comes up for you. Maybe you're single. Yes, love might come up. But there's like Saturn saying to you, like, do this in a mature way. Do this the right way. Do this slow, step by step. The ruler of Virgo is in Leo in your 4th house. So there could be still some shifts that you're going to make around the house and the home and the family. Geminis, this is happening in your 4th house. So when you are a Gemini having planets around 11 degrees, you're going to feel this very strongly. This is a new beginning at home, the work-life balance, so to speak, but specifically home. So there could be something, a home that you sell, a home that you buy, but it doesn't always have to be that big for everyone. It could simply mean a new routine that you're doing at home, a new way of looking at your emotions, where you're coming from, your ancestry, a new way of doing so. And there's a tendency of seeing that in a more mature way, opposing Saturn in the 10th. So there could be also this restoration happening of work life, that you're balancing things out. You're trying to have more balance in your life. When there is too much work, you're trying to have more emotional safety. When there is less work or not work enough, you're trying to restore this. It can also mean a connection with a parent, that you're restoring these things. And Mercury is in Leo in the 3rd house, so there is communication coming to you that might have been hidden from you, squaring up to the 12th. That's going to help you with all of this. Cancerians, this new moon is in your 3rd house. So this is like a new way of thinking. You're gonna think in a new way. For some of you, this could mean like a trip that you're gonna take, or for some of you, this could mean a new study or a new way of learning something. And for others, it has to do more with, especially if you have your own business, a new way of promoting your business, because the 3rd house is a PR house. You're gonna do that a little bit more in a professional way. Not that it wasn't before, but Saturn is there opposing in the 9th house. So it's a lot about your belief systems as well, that you don't want to go too rigid. You don't want to go like, oh, I only see my way or the highway. But at the same time, you want to structure and make your communications work better. So you could be acquiring a new computer, for instance, especially because the ruler, Mercury, is in your second house, squaring Uranus in the 11th. So you could be acquiring something new that has to do with communication, like a new phone, a new computer, and so on, so that you can be more efficient in that third house, which is your communication house. Also new beginnings with siblings, with neighbors. There could be some new developments happening there. Leo, this is all happening in your second house, your assets. So you could be doing a lot of work in the house, for instance, around the things that you own. So that there is a new start. Maybe you're gonna do your closets. You're gonna say, look, I'm gonna sell them. I'm gonna give them away. So there's something about the things that you own. There's a new start there to make it more sufficient and efficient. And less is more, because it opposes Saturn in the 8th house. So there is this energy of less is more. Maybe you're going to go more for the trend of the minimalism, whatever it is. Mercury, the ruler of all of this, is in your house, which means that you will profile yourself in a new way. And people are going to say, huh? Who? So there's a freeing up for you also, for sure, in the way that you show up. And it has to do with your values, for sure. There's a new way of you valuing yourself and versus another person. So in a relationship, there could be this restoration going on between what you value and what they value. Virgos, the whole beginning is for you. The whole beginning is for you. And don't we like that, Virgos, right? To get things right, to clean up. But this has to do with so much more than just the closet. It has to do with you, because this new moon is in your sign, especially if you've got this at 11 degrees. So if you got your birthday around the 2nd or the 3rd, you're going to have this in your solar return, which means a whole new year and a whole new you, and a very, very, you could say, real one, because it's opposing Saturn in the 7th. So here you're going to see the work that you've done in a relationship, or with relationships that are one. The 7th house is not only a romantic relationship, it can also be a business partner, your clients. So there is something that comes up that you've been working on and that now is showing up as a result. So, and again, it depends on what you've done in the past. There is like this, you could say, maturity energy around relationships for you. And I think Virgos will do well with this energy. Although in some cases, if you have, like closed your eyes, something could come up that is really testing time. So for those of you who don't have a good relationship for quite a while, and, who've just been putting their head in the sand, this could be a wake-up call. That something happens now, and you have to make a choice here, because that's what Saturn in the 7th house is all about. And your ruler is in the 12th, so it's still a bit like, oh, I don't know what's going on here, right? I don't know what's going on here. There's quite some doubt still happening for you. But around the 9th and the 10th of September, Mercury will be in your sign again. So for every important decision, wait until that time, if you can. Librans, this is your 12th house. So this new moon all has to do with the cleaning up of the unconscious, with the cleaning up of the blind spots, with putting a book next to your bed, and when you wake up in the middle of the night, you just write everything down. And this can give you solutions. This can give you insights, for sure. And this can give you solutions for problems that you're having during the day, which is a weird thing, but it's happening with this new moon here. There is like new ways that you can do for battle your unconscious escapism behavior, which we all have, some more than others. But that's what this is all about. Saturn in the 6th house is quite strict, so it's demanding of you your day-to-day routines, and to wake up early and to do this and to do that. That's Saturn in the 6th house. Because when you're doing that, you're going to have a lot of benefits in those houses, which is work, your health, and your routines. This Mercury is in your 11th house of friendships, and so on. So in that area, that could be a breakthrough with a friend or with a goal that you're having, and that, you know, something comes up, a conversation, and things brightened up. Scorpios, this is happening in your 11th house, and this is a new beginning in the way that you have maybe a new friendship or an old friendship that is no longer suiting you. Could be that as well, within opposition to your Saturn in the 5th house. Whatever it is, it can also mean when it comes to your relationships, there is like, you're making like a cleaning up, so to speak. Or they are making a cleaning up with you. But the main thing is rejection is God's protection. So especially with this opposition to Saturn, you know, if they're very critical, or if you are being very critical, there is like this cleaning up here. What's going on? Where do I need to be more mature? Where haven't I been realistic, so to speak? And it can be a new friendship occurring here, and a very real one and a long-lasting one for sure as well. The ruler is in the 10th house, so it could be connected to your work. There's something around work that that has an epiphany. So for some of you, you could be getting work, a new work, but that it might have been something that you already did in the past. Sagittarians, this is your 10th house of work. There is a new beginning. There's a new beginning and an ending, so to speak, when it comes to how you work. Not necessarily that you're going to leave a job. For some, that could be, especially if it was not good and you didn't like it and you worked hard for a new one. This could mean a new job. And it opposes Saturn in the 4th. So there is like this maturation, like maybe you're going to have to do some more hours. Maybe you only work 20 hours a week and now you're going to work 40. You know, that kind of maturity energy around you. But the thing is that there is a restoration going on between work and home, right? So it's just like the Geminis, but reversed. So this new beginning in work, or the trigger there, or maybe something that needs to be cleaned up or done in a new way or more efficient, is connected to how you feel safe. And maybe there is not a big deal of feeling safe because there's not enough work or there's too much work. And you're restoring this. So it's especially the Sagittarians around 11 degrees, you will feel this very strongly. And the ruler of it, Mercury, is in your 9th house. So this is about what you believe in and what is important for you. You're going to have some epiphanies there. That is related to work as well. Some epiphanies, some understandings, so that you can clean up when it comes to your work, and that you can work in a way that is more efficient and that is more smart. Not working harder. That's not what the efficient Virgo wants. It wants to work smarter. So that's possible for you. Capricorns, 9th house. You are a fellow earth sign. So this is nice energy for you. Having this in the 9th house, this new beginning, which opposes Saturn in the 3rd house, could mean an ending and a new beginning when it comes to studies. That was the example that I said in the introduction. So you could be studying and now you're going to see the results. It opposes Saturn. So if you've done nothing, you know what the results is going to be. If you've done a lot, you know that the reward will be very much rewarding. Rewarding. So it could also mean travel. There's something around travel that you're going to do, or around publishing. And you've been working hard with Saturn in the 3rd house to have the best mindset to do so. So it could be that as well. Saturn always represents in the 3rd house hard work when it comes to your mind. So mindfulness, not going too much to the negative thoughts, Saturn in the 3rd, and Saturn is your ruler. So watch out for that. You're not focusing on what's not working. Focus, of course, if it's in your, if you can influence it, of course. But if not, if it's out of your power, then focus on what is working so that improves, and so that you can have that new beginning when it comes to your mindset, a new way of thinking, a new travel, and so on. Aquarians, the 8th house. This is a new beginning of life and death area, right? It's there could be developments there, opposing Saturn in the second. So this has to do with money. This has to do with a new beginning around your possessions or the possessions that you share with someone else and that you want to change here. There's some shift here. Could be inheritances, taxes, return on investments and all of that. There's something new developing here that you want to be very efficient and very, the devil is in the detail. You want to examine this and you want to have it correctly done, basically. But this can mean a new development of a loan or a payoff of a loan, that as well. Or if it's not that, it's more on a psychological level. There is a bit of a death and rebirth energy here going on for sure. And Mercury rules your 7th house. So, it's not ruling. It's the ruler of it is in the 7th house. So relationships, intimacy, it's all connected here. So there could be like, there is a true new revelation for you going on when it comes to your deep psychological shadow. So shadow work, if you've been working hard on the shadow work, it's going to reveal that there's going to be like some important transformation here. And of course, if you worked hard on it, it's going to be for the better, for sure. Last but not least, Pisceans, if you have planets around 11 degrees, you feel this very strongly. This is in your 7th house. So there is like a new beginning, an ending and a new beginning in the 7th house of connections and relationships. Does it mean that every Piscean will have an end of a connection? Of course not. Does it mean that if the connection was very, very bad and you didn't do anything around it? Yes, this could end. Absolutely. If you wanted to, and if you haven't done anything about it. But let's say you've worked hard on yourself, Saturn in the 1st house, with the healthy boundaries and not letting people take over and not living the life of other people for other people, then this could mean a new relationship. This could mean an upgrade in an existing relationship. So it's all what your situation is. What was your situation? And this is going to show itself. Mercury is, of course, the ruler of the 7th house as well. So this is a lot about your relationships, but the ruler, Mercury, is now in your 6th house, in Leo. So that is your day-to-day life. So make sure that your day-to-day life, that you welcome some strange shifts, some unexpected shifts, and that can disrupt a bit your routine, but it's for the better in the long run. So very interesting for the Pisceans, especially because you are learning a lot about boundaries. You're learning a lot about the give and the take in a relationship in a very mature way. And that's a good thing. Anyway, having said that, thank you so much for watching. Again, if you want a reading, click the link below here. All the information for having different kinds of readings. And thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.